You are farming your chickens all wrong, but I can tell you how to fix it. Hello everybody, my name is Nolan. Welcome to the channel. Today we are looking at the profitability of chickens. Let's get into it. We started with one chicken and one coop, and we gave them 1 year to see just how many chickens there would be at the end of the year, how much feed the chickens in the coop ate, and most importantly, if they made any money. At the end of year 1, we found that chickens are not profitable if you start with just one that is not able to produce eggs. The cost of the habitat was $15,000. The cost of chicken was $6,000. We spent $87 in the wheat to feed the chickens, and then we also had to cover maintenance on the coop. That maintenance came out to $312, leaving us negative completely. So if you're going to start farming chickens, you are not going to be profitable in your first year. It is not worth it if you're only going to do it for a year. We lose $73 at the end of year 2. We have more chickens in the coop, but they're eating more food and they're still not producing enough eggs yet. We spent $702 in wheat. We sold the eggs for $952 at the best time of year, but the maintenance cost of the chicken coop was still enough to put us at that negative 73. So chickens, starting with one, not profitable after 2 years. Year 3, we see a massive loss yet again. With our sale of eggs coming out to $3,900, we put $4,900 of feed into there. I have a feeling it was just because the chickens reproduced at such a point where there was now way more chickens in there that still were not producing value. So it was a major loss. By the end of year 3, still running total, we are down $16,733. And finally, year 4, the year in which we are not producing more chickens. Our chickens are of age. It took us 4 years to turn a profit, and that profit is noteworthy. We were able to turn a profit of $18,000 in the 4th year. That came out to a total of $35,000 from the sale of the eggs. We only had to put in $17,000 worth of food. So in general, we were able to turn a very nice profit by the time our chickens were done reproducing. This is similar across any amount we do. We now jump to a farm where we're going to let it grow much more. We're going to start with a coop that is able to hold 5,000 chickens instead of the base game maximum of 360. And we're going to see how long it takes to get to that exact same point of starting to turn a decent profit. We went all the way with this one, so you're going to love the numbers here. The habitat we put in cost $152,000. We started with just the one chicken again, so we had $6 in the chicken. It ate 210 liters of wheat in the first year with maintenance costs at $604. We turned a absolutely abysmal profit. Total revenue was $220 and we spent $153,564 to get it going. It was brutal. By the end of year 1, we got up to 8 chickens in the coop, and we have spent $153,000 so far. So if you're gonna get a massive coop, you might want to start with more than one chicken. Let's keep going. End of year 2, we are now up to 70 chickens in the coop. Our running profit is still brutal, but year on year, we only went negative $145, which means early on in the year, it was absolutely terrible. But we had some chickens come of age to the point where they are now starting to turn some nice profit around for us. At the end of year 2, it's actually starting to look very, very good. And that's consistent with the other coop. If you're going to start with one chicken, it's going to take at least 2 years before they start to turn a profit for you. That being said, I have more numbers. You're going to love to see this. At the end of year 3 in this 5,000 chicken coop, we have 570 chickens. That is more than you can have in any coop in the base game. So we're going to start to see some numbers that you cannot see unless you are modded. We put $11,600 worth of feed into this thing, and we really didn't see that great of returns, honestly. We produced 11,000 eggs in the year, so we were looking at like 8 pallets or so. I think a pallet's like 1,300 liters. So we turned a profit of $3,100 that year. We are net green, but we are still reproducing, so it gets way more interesting. At the end of year 4, we have 4,600 chickens in this coop. It is still not full, but it's close. We have spent $94,000 on the wheat to feed the chickens inside of this thing. But we have produced 91,000 liters of eggs. That is a net profit of $32,000, and all of our chickens are not even of egg producing age yet. That is interesting. In order to truly get a good picture of exactly how long it took to get this farm to maximum capacity, we went one more month ahead and we did hit maximum capacity. In that month, we turned a profit of $28,000, but then it really doesn't make any sense to like test all the months between. The maximum efficiency is what we care about. So we went some months ahead in the game, and this is the numbers we found. With 5,000 chickens finally in this coop, we had to put $247,000 into this thing every single year. Every year this thing is gonna eat $250,000, but it's gonna produce over 400,000 liters of eggs. To put that in perspective, that is equal to $585,000 for just farming chickens. That's total revenue is $585,000. With that, we know that a maxed out chicken coop filled only with chickens that are able to produce eggs is going to net you a profit of $337,000 every single year. Granted, you have to have a way to move all of those eggs. By a quick estimation, that's over 320 pallets of eggs every year. So you're gonna have to have a way to store those things, but it prints money. Now, I know what you're thinking, Nolan, there's a million things that could have gone differently with this experiment. You're correct, but I want to show you guys what went well. I have the mod No Man's Land installed, so I was able to load that up and I was able to get an accurate price of the buy price of the wheat. So this is not a best case scenario projection. This is a worst case scenario. No Man's Land is absolutely brutal when it comes to prices, and we have the most brutal price. We are charging ourselves $824 per thousand for our wheat. That's brutal. Another thing that's honestly for the better is the fact that we could have used barley instead of using wheat. Barley is a little bit more cost effective when feeding our chickens, but I think more people just farm wheat out of habit of farming wheat. If you're going to do a exclusive chicken farm and you're going to farm for your own feed, do barley. This is the part I wanted to keep everybody around for, because this is where the good stuff is. When your chickens are reproducing on your farm, they're worth an average of $6. I got the number by just taking the gross profit and saying, okay, we're gonna divide that by the chickens we have on the farm currently, right? Because that's going to take into account the ones that can lay eggs and the ones that can't. If your chickens are reproducing on your farm, you are going to be getting a value of $6 per chicken, which is not great. Where that gets interesting is in the part of if all of the chickens on your farm are no longer reproducing, but they're all just producing eggs. When your chickens get to this point, they're worth almost $60 per year compared to the $5 per year when they're reproducing. What this means is that they will turn a profit year one if you buy them at mature age instead of waiting for them to breed. I went ahead and I tested this out, and it's exactly how it works. You could pay for 2 5,000 capacity chicken coops with the profits off of one in 1 year, and your farm ends up looking something like this if you do so. With all that being said, I think there are two main takeaways we need to consider here. The first one is, in fact, we have been farming chickens wrong. We should be buying fully mature chickens that are able to produce eggs and be worth $60 per year to our farm instead of having to wait for them to get to that point. We could be turning a profit much sooner and not having to sit and kind of struggle in those middle phases. You know, when we have to grow our farm, it costs us feed. If we just want the profit right away and we're there to farm the chickens, we should be buying them ready to go. The second thing is we should not be selling our chickens once they get to that $25 mark. When they are at that point, they're worth $60 a year to our farm. It is much more economical just to keep them there so they can produce you the value, and you don't have to sit there and fuss with making $25, $20 a bird. If you guys enjoyed the content, leave a like, leave a sub. If you guys want to see me put this to the practice, click on this video right here.